HooHooHooRobin.
When I went to England, I spent a month there. I liked England. Everything's different. I mean, that's obvious, but some of the differences were cool. I like the money. The money, instead of a dollar bill, they have the pound coin. And it's a coin, and you throw it on the counter. It felt kind of cool, like the Old West. Like going to, being on the dusty trail. You see a saloon, so you walk over with your horse. You throw the rope vaguely at the pole outside. The thing they do. Well, it's my whole life on that horse. Should be fine. Just walk in a saloon. Give me a beer, a bottle of whiskey, and a room for a week, and steak dinner, a shave, and a haircut, and a bath, and some new clothes, and a hat, and some boots, and some oats from a horse, and a woman. Here you go. Ping! That's all. One heavy coin. You're fine. Nobody adds up all those things you mentioned. They don't check to see what coin it was. The guy just keeps drying the glass. Things were very vague back then. Things just cost money. Hey, how much is that? Money. In the old English movies, it was different. It was a little sack of coins. Remember that little drawstring sack tossed over by some faggy lord with a ruffled shirt? Throw it disdainfully down to some commoner who's gonna do something beneath his station. Follow the girl and report back to me at midnight. Bring a shovel and a sack. And two reliable men such as yourself. What's that? Oh, yes, of course. Well, this ought to be sufficient. Just chink.
Well, thank you, sir.
The guy's so happy to get a general amount of some kind of currency or another. He didn't count it. I think you only gave me enough for the shovel. It's not enough there. That was a good time in our economy. When you needed to have gold to buy shit. We might be going back to that pretty soon, too. Things are pretty fucked up. People are a little bit scared. But you know what? How bad could it really get? I mean, most Americans have so much crap. You could lose most of it and still have more shit than the average Canadian, even. We're the fattest people in the world, and we just have all this shit, and we hate it. We're just miserable with our phones. Just angry all the time. And I worry about the economy failing because we're miserable with a great life. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna deal with when you gotta move your mom into the cellar and shit and have serious problems. Because we have up till now, we have white people problems in America. That's what we have. White people problems. You know what that is? That's where your life is amazing, so you just make shit up to be upset about. People in other countries have real problems, oh shit, they're cutting off all our heads today. Things like that. Here we make shit up to be upset about, how come I have to choose a language on the ATM machine? It's bullshit. I shouldn't have to do that. I'm American. God, the shit we bitch about. I called American Airlines and I got a Pakistani lady. And she was in Pakistan. Only people near my fat white body should have jobs. I'll tell you what though, when I call American Airlines and I get the Pakistani lady, I hang up and I call again. I do. I'm going to tell you honestly. And it's not because I don't like her, and it's not because she doesn't speak English, because she speaks way better than I do. She's just a better person. It's so clear. And I know, here's why I don't like talking to her, because I know she doesn't give a shit about me and my white people problems. I want to talk to the lady from Texas who's, well, how can I help you? That's the lady I want. I just know that. Hello, American. Oh, fuck, you don't care. There's no way. Why would you? I'm in my underwear. Hi, I have a layover in Dallas that's really long, and I was wondering if... She's like, oh, really? I haven't had a clean glass of water in 10 years, okay? 2 of my kids died this morning. I still came to work, you fat shit. I can hear you're fat over the phone. Why don't you hang up and kill yourself? Why would she care? how he just, God, standing at the ATM. I can't believe they're making it go like this. Stupid. What the fuck are you complaining about? You push a button in and money comes out of fucking slots. It used to be that way. When I was younger, you had to go in the bank. Remember that? You had to go inside the bank. Now you look in the bank, you're like, what are those people doing in there? Are they cleaning? The money's out here.
Fucking laughing our balls off. A little taste of Louie C.K. doing Hilarious, which is going to be on TV Sunday night at 10 p.m. on Comedy Central. And then on Tuesday, you can get the CD and or DVD, Hilarious. And we got Louie C.K. in studio today. Fucking laughing hard at that shit.
Thank you.
So fucking funny, man.
Thank you.
Damn it.
Well, that was 2 specials ago now.
Yeah.
All right, stop bragging.
Well, I mean that it's old.
It's old in his mind, but that shit
it's old in his.
is as current as anything.
We took
It's
this as a
timeless.
movie. This is the one we took to Sundance as a movie.
Oh, really?
It was the first
Right.
stand-up performance film that showed at Sundance.
Wow.
And did really well there. It was fun.
That saloon shit is just great.
The vagary of the Old West.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Goddamn Louie. I hate funny people.
How's the personal life? How's the daughters? Everything
They're
good there?
great. My kids are great.
Yeah.
My daughter's, the oldest one is in 3rd grade, and the other one's in kindergarten. They go to the same school now, which is a massive savings of time.
Oh,
I
with
used to
the,
walk them
walking
to
them
2
to
different
school,
schools.
yeah.
Pick them up at 2 different schools.
Are you going to
Now
reflect?
it's a one-stop drop.
Are you going to reflect that in your TV show, or like how accurate is the daughters
TV
and
show
you
is very
on the
different.
show, or like are they going to grow up on the show, or are you going to have to replace them? Are you going to age them rapidly like a soap opera?
Well, the girls on my show are totally different than the girls, my kids.
Yeah,
They are only represented in age. But my kids are nothing like those girls. They're really fictional. I mean, most of my family.
I never thought that they were an accurate depiction of your kids, even though I don't know your kids. But is the way you're reacting to them, that seems to be like you.
No, that is definitely different too. Because
That's
my
different,
daughters
too?
and I have.
Do you beat your children? Is that, is that what you're not showing on the show?
My daughters and I have a very real and close relationship, a very warm relationship, and we're just great friends. They're my favorite people, my daughters, and we get along great. And I used to get frustrated when I was younger. At having kids, just getting through a day with kids used to be a chore.
From your act, we would never have known
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Well, and I definitely distilled and purified that frustration for the sake of entertainment. I've had all through being a dad incredible moments and times in my life that are completely unfunny, so those are kept out of there.
Yeah,
no one wants to see that. No one ever will.
No way to make it funny.
No
nothing.
way.
Just
No. Like I did a bit during this last tour I did about sleeping, and my daughters waking me up in the morning, like at 6 o'clock every morning. And I don't need to get up to like 7:30 to get them to school, but they get me up at 6. Because they're awake and they want to share the day with me, you know.
Yeah.
So I did this bit about how good sleep feels at 6 a.m. Like how much I don't want to wake up because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm, fathoms deep in a river of chocolate, and sleep is like an ancient whore who's sucking me off slowly and speaking in a dead language. This whole thing I do about how much I don't want to wake up, and then I wake up and I'm miserable. When I conceived that bit, the second part to it was the truth, which is as much as I hate getting upright at 6 a.m., once I'm feeding my kids breakfast and we're chatting, I'm so happy to get up.
Yeah.
Because when I'm on the road or when my kids aren't with me, I always sleep till like noon or 1 o'clock, and I wake up, I feel like a piece of shit, and most of the day is gone. But I get up at 6 o'clock, and even though the transition is difficult, standing there and feeding them, I feed them a full breakfast every morning. I make them bacon and eggs and stuff, and I stand there watching them eat it, and we chat, and it's such a great
it's such a real life to me. That's real. When I started it on stage, I'd tell the part about sleeping and about not wanting to wake up, and then I'd get to that part, and the laughter would just completely stop. I had no way to make that funny. So I stopped doing it.
You're a good dad. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I just dropped that part off.
Where does the Louie from the TV show?
Well, that guy. I mean, I like on the show to be just to make mistakes I never would, and to be more reactive and have less control over myself. It's just funnier.
You're in a weird situation with this, and I think it's a good person to compare it to. Seinfeld, I think, went through the same thing. A lot of people assume that's Seinfeld because he's Jerry Seinfeld on the show, that's Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah. And that is not Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, no, he's not
on the show.
No.
So when you watch your show, you're Louie, you're a stand-up, you're doing what you do.
Yeah.
So a lot of people assume that's an accurate depiction of you head to toe. That's you.
Yeah, no, I definitely am different than that guy.
And where does that come from? Like, just you make up a guy and kind of.
I mean, it's me, but I don't do the things I would do usually. Some of it is playing out fantasies, like saying things out loud to people that are bothering me that I never would say.
My dumb questions are just I'm amazed at people's creativity. I can't fathom being able to make shit up like that.
You're like a little boy, though. But are the cameras really there, or are you bring them? Wow!
Yeah. But
I am an ass.
The kids on the show are actually two different girls played my youngest daughter last season.
Dick Sargent and Dick York.
That's right.
I almost fucked that up.
And it wasn't far from that. They were very close. We had a girl playing when I started doing the show. FX wanted to make my talent deals for me because they have these packages they give actors, Really? And I said I don't want to do that because I don't want you to know who I'm hiring. And
keep everything on the QT.
I want to do it myself.
Yeah.
Our little company hires our actors directly, and also I don't want to give people series deals because I don't want to be forced to put them on the show.
Yeah,
I don't like having to say, oh, what do we have to make up for this guy this time? So the girls, I hired two actresses to play my daughters, and the guy who runs FX said to me, yeah, but what if one of them gets another job? And I said, well, fuck her then. I'll get another one. I don't care.
No one cares.
No one gives a shit. It doesn't matter who's playing them. It really doesn't. And
you're fucking brilliant.
No, so one of the girl who played my youngest daughter, she got a pilot on ABC. It wasn't even a show that went to, I knew it wouldn't go to series because no pilots really ever do. But I said, let her go. We'll get another one. And then maybe if she comes back next year, So she left, and then we got another one and started using her. And then the thing came up, well, this is what FX warned me of. Do I tell them that I replaced my daughter? And I decided, no, because they don't see the show until it's complete. They don't read scripts. They don't see footage.
Oh, shit, okay.
So I figured they'll see an episode with the new kid, and then I'll get a phone call and I'll deal with it then.
They'll assume they've lost the part.
Yeah, so I put it on. I sent it to them. The first episode with the new girl, they didn't say anything.
They didn't notice?
They never noticed. And then one of the last episodes, actually, both girls, because I matched two stories that weren't originally supposed to be. One girl plays my daughter in the first half of the episode,
really
and another girl plays her in the second half. And
no one noticed.
No one said anything. And I finally talked to the FX guy, and I said, "Did you know?
Did you
that I've got two girls?" And he was like, "No." And none of these fucking commenty, complainy cunts on the internet have ever picked up on it. Nobody, because who gives a shit?
It doesn't matter.
Do you know how hard it is to get creative control like that? Like that's like a fucking Kubrick or Spielberg type of thing. Nobody has 100%. Yeah. That's amazing, dude.
Well, and it's from being on the other side of the spectrum from those guys that we drove the show down to be so cheap that it's not like
they were just
Spielberg owns the world so he can do what he
wants.
wants. But me, no one cares what I'm doing because my show can be paid for by advertisers that literally don't know what the show's about.
That's perfect.
If the show was a little more expensive or on a little bit earlier, then, I don't know who, Nescafe or,
Nescafe.
General Mills would say,
Procter and Gamble.
Yes, but right now, fucking some lawyer from New Jersey is paying for my show.
Changed out the fucking daughters and no one knew.
No, and also, I don't have that control contractually. I don't have a deal that says I can do what I want. The deal that I have that I signed says that FX has full control over the show, and that they have to approve every decision that I make.
But whether they do that or not is another
in
thing.
practice, they've never done it, but I earned that with every show. If I turn in 2 shitty episodes, I'll start having an executive on the set, and I'll have to turn in
fingers in there.
But how great is that they fucking allow that? That's like you're giving them a great product, and they're not fucking with it. That's so nice.
Well,
the
way
rare.
The way I got it was that I was willing not to do the show any other way. I was willing to say no. You have to really be willing to say no to stuff. If you really want the gig and you feel like you can't live without it, then you'll give away everything.
And it's so rough
they
when
would be
close.
like, well, we want to read scripts. And I go, no, I'm not interested in doing it that way. We established it with the pilot. I said, this is the only way I'll do it. You give me the money, I'll make a show. Well, we'd like to find out who's in it. Not interested in telling you that. Really? Yeah, no, and if you want to know who's in the show, then I'd rather not do it. Like, I said that a few times through the process.
And meant it.
Yes, I did, and I meant it. Well, we'd like to visit your set. I don't want you here. But I totally understand why you would want to come here because you're paying for the show. But I'd rather we just call it off. Wow. And I just kept saying that, and they were so cool. And the guy who runs FX, John Landgraf, is a genius. And he said he kept everybody off of me, and it worked. I gave them a show they liked. If I'd given them a show that needed work, they would have been like, yes, we'll give you a green light, but you need more supervision. But they're like, do keep doing it that way. But he's the one who got me to do it without signing that. He said, look, I can't. There's no deal that exists that covers this.
Hitler, a love story you could have come up with.
You could have done anything.
I could have done anything. But since I turned in something that was basically funny and competent and didn't look crazy, okay, let's keep doing it as long as it works. But episode by episode, I have to earn that. Mm-hmm. So each episode they've liked, and they just keep saying, all right, it's good. They don't ever give me notes or anything. They just let me
stay hands off.
It's the best job I ever had. Well, and that gives me freedom not only to do what I want and be edgy, it also, I don't have a good work ethic. Like, I can't complete things, and I don't have a consistent focus.
Wow.
So I can do things like write half a sketch on the show or half a story, and then I can't get around to finishing it. But I go ahead and produce it anyway. I send it to, get them to cast the parts, and I start shooting it without an ending.
It totally comes across. You totally come across to me as a guy that is the finish it guy.
Well, it takes me a long time to finish
eventually,
stuff.
But I mean, like, to me, I really thought you were the kind of guy that, like, because from a lot of the short things I've seen you do online and things like that, it's like I have an idea and I'm actually going to do it. And you do it.
Some of them are like that. Some things that I've done, I know that I have an idea, and 5 minutes later, I actually know how it's going to be shot and finished and everything.
So you actually won't finish it. Sometimes you'll have you'll know where you want to start and kind of where you might want to end up, and then just know it's going to work out.
Yeah, and I'll just shoot a scene that I know is funny, and then I'll figure I'll find a place for it. It doesn't have a context yet.
Well, you got the confidence that you're going to get there.
Well, like in the episode on the show that's about religion, it starts with this thing of me going into a public restroom and there's a glory hole. And I didn't have a plan for that scene. I just liked the idea of this glory hole thing. And I started shooting it. We shot it and it was totally different. And then we shot it and I didn't like it, actually. And in the actual original version, the dude sticks his penis in this glory hole and he has this religious orgasm that I watch happen. And that was the original thing. And I watched it, and it was gross. It was creepy and weird and unfunny. And so I shelved it. I said, fuck this thing. I forgot. I mean, I have the ability to shoot something and then no one ever sees it. So I figured I'm going to bury this. It'll never be on television. But then we started shooting the religion episode and it hit me. This would be I could take just the beginning of that bit and have it just be a discussion starter.
Yeah.
For
a little intro kind of.
Yeah. So some stuff I shoot without knowing how I'm going to use it.
That's cool.
And there's been stuff that you shot that you probably haven't used, right? That
There's whole bits that Nick DiPaolo, who's on the show a lot as himself, I originally put him in a suit and tie and had him play almost like a Catskills, like he did kind of a character, and he wore a suit and tie I just like they had this weird idea that there's an old timey Dean Martin kind of comedian in the midst of these.
What the fuck?
And I have one bit. One whole thing that I shot with him in that character, that never will be on the show, but it's on the DVD. It's on the DVD.
Put it on a nightmare scene for Nick.
Yeah,
exactly. Nick has a nightmare that's who he is.
I was gonna say DVD would.
No, and also because
like
I don't make serious deals with people, and because nobody cares who's on the show, I can like Bob Kelly. I hope he's. I mean, I should probably call him after to tell him this.
No.
But Robert Kelly, who played my brother on the show, I didn't have any plans to have a brother on the show. Just I wrote one scene for him, and he really nailed it. And he had that really pathetic quality to that Bob has. That you just want to punch him and hug him.
Oh, the diner scene's fucking fantastic.
And so he was so good in that, and that I gave him a few more episodes. This season, I might not have him on.
You're basically saying you don't have a brother anymore.
I don't have a brother, because I don't have a brother in real life.
Happy days.
Yeah.
Hey, Fat Chuck, how does that feel?
Can we call Bobby right now and tell him?
No.
You're Chuck.
No, I don't want to hurt him. He might.
He's tremendous. Bobby's great.
Everything I'm writing
for you.
I'm writing season 2. I'm writing season 2 right now, and I haven't written a bit for him, and I introduced a sister into the show because I have actually 3 sisters. So I have
Bobby with a wig,
a sister character. So he may not be on. But then the other day I came up with a bit. I thought that actually might be good for him. But he also might come back as a different character. I don't know.
Say that
I'm serious.
Great.
You should have him come back as 2 people at once because he's put weight on just to humiliate him.
Exactly.
When he's in the car, though, it is such perfect Bobby when he's just like, hey, dude.
Hey, dude. No, Jim is in one scene last year, and probably I'll use him as a totally different guy. He's in it himself with a fucking necklace over his T-shirt like an asshole.
Did I have a necklace on?
Necklace over the T-shirt.
That was probably, I think, was that the table? That was my Lucky Louie thing that Pam gave me.
Oh, that's right.
That's the only reason I never wear jewelry. I hate jewelry.
Right. That poker scene was some great writing.
But I do characters, too, so if you need a character like a French guy or whatever.
Do you have one of those composites?
Try one out?
Louie, I will be happy to be on. Fucking good, man.
You know what would be great?
French.
Would be to actually have him on as a French guy and say that he's a French guy and have him do that. To have it be like a French, like a bakery I go into, and he goes, "Oh, it's so nice to see you, Louis." Do the guy like, "Hey, good morning.
I am so happy you came to my bakery."
Can I get? How are the croissants this morning?
They are delicious and hot, just the way you like them.
All of a sudden, you're German.
But but there was a whole World War II thing with my family. I'm writing backstory.
He's Alsatian. He's Alsatian French.
Vichy.
I could almost totally see doing that.
Why not?
Just have him play this broad and don't just have it be this
no
character.
Explanation, nothing.
And maybe we have one of those, like it's a character, we have one of those, it's been a tough day with the kids. You know, fatherhood is tough, right, Francois?
Oh, yes, it is tough to raise them properly. You have to let them go. Fucking good, man.
He's got wisdom. He's got a little wisdom.
Yeah, a lot of wisdom.
You close your eyes, you can see the beret.
Yeah.
If I turned that show on and saw that, I'd shit my pants. Right. I would shit my pants.
I'll just do really hacky French jokes. Well, if you're children, you should surrender.
And just an aside, you can see him just walking down the street and just say hello to him, and he's got the paper bag with a baguette sticking out of it, and some celery and a beret on.
But I'll have to make sure the audience knows. Like, you'll say something, I'm glad you came in because I am French.
Right. See, I love the idea of doing this because, like, Ricky Gervais's character didn't fit the rest of the season at all because I didn't do any other cartoonly stupid characters like that. I did one. And there's people that complained about it, like, this doesn't fit. And I'm like, what? Fuck you. I mean, one thing I love to do on my show is that even the people that are the biggest fans of the show have things that make them upset about it. That makes me happy.
I never
like
even
in the
thought
pilot when the girl
fit.
Gets in the helicopter and flies away. A lot of people are like, that's where it really, it did really. So fuck you. I wanted to do it. That's my show.
Right.
If you don't like it, stop watching. If there's enough of you guys, I'll get fired.
That's what we say.
I don't give a
time.
shit. So it would be great if next season is really down to earth and real. and really, you know, just believable and credible. But there's this one sore thumb piece of shit. Not even played by a guy who knows how to do it. Like, it would be bad enough to get a stereotypical French guy who actually is, you know, trained, but this guy doesn't even have any handle on the accent.
And you got
it's not what he's known for, to use Jimmy that way.
But you got to go all in and have him in every episode just to really hammer the awfulness home.
Oh, that would be horrid.
Every fucking episode.
That would be great. It's like, what's his name? Will Ferrell told me that he used to have in his head these couple watching SNL. He would imagine, and he would do moments that he used to call holy moly moments, where the husband of the couple, he would do things on SNL that he pictured the guy going, holy moly. Like, Jesus.
What the hell is he doing?
That's what this is going to be.
That's a holy moly.
I think we're probably doing it too, so, Jim.
Jim, get ready.
I've been working on my French accent for since about 8:48.
You got to do it now.
Obnoxious thing.
By the
to
way,
do.
was that the pilot also that Chelsea was in?
Chelsea's the one who got in a helicopter and flew away.
When you open the door and pin her behind the door, that is one of the best awkward scenes ever.
Horrible. The thing that was amazing about that to me was that I wrote that, and then they went and I wrote it in the script. It wasn't something that we just sort of found.
Right.
I said the door is too close to the stairs, and when he opens the door, there's nowhere for her to go but behind it. And so he holds it open, pinning her. I wrote that, and they had to go find the
because now
scouts had to find
you got to find a door that
they had to scour the East Village and find a building that was willing to let us shoot there. That would have that
situation.
Yeah, without it looking like we forced it.
I do hate the awkward double door, try to hold the door for the girl thing. Because now she's in, and some girls know how to actually kind of stop there and wait.
Right.
And you could open it, but then most of them lunge for it and open, and now she's opening the door for you. And then you got to make the whole tit for tat joke. Like,
then you did it for me, which is
now
funny.
Now we're even.
Now we're laughing at unfunny moments.
Exactly.
You held it for me.
Door.
I can't wait for this to be over.
Can't wait to fuck your ass and throw you out my window. Fucking moderately amusing cunt.
Moderately amusing cunt. That's some comedian should have that as a special. So Whitney Cummings' next special. Sorry, just picked one out of the hat.
I know you just picked a woman. Sure enough.
Why not?
Pick the woman out of the hat. That's what I always do.
Hey, Louie, the open to the show, a guy flips off the fucking camera.
Yeah.
And there's some discussion about that, if you set that up or if that was real.
Oh, no, that was... If I had set it up, that would have been a shitty...
way to do it.
Yeah, but no, when we shot that, the last night of the pilot shooting, we shot the stand-up at the Comedy Cellar, and we were figuring out as we were going along how to do that. And I got a Steadicam operator to stand on stage with me at the Cellar. That's how we shot that. And so you get that first-person feeling.
Right.
It's the same way I shot the stand-up on Hilarious on the special that's out at 10 o'clock Sunday on Comedy Central, and then later on DVD.
And you do
and Netflix.
You do acknowledge the camera at one point.
Yeah, during the Hilarious special. Yeah, because he got too close.
Yeah.
And I could hear the guy's cans. I could hear the tech director talking to the camera person.
Okay, go to 3. We're going to pack, and you're trying to fucking do.
I actually hear her telling him what he's doing. Go a little closer. You can get closer, Jim. You can get closer. And I'm talking to a fucking audience of 2,000 people during a set that I've been preparing for a year.
Yeah, I'm glad you left that in.
And I had to turn to him and say, you got to back off because I can hear you.
Yeah.
But we left it in because it is a strange... I think if you watch the show high, that's probably a really fucked up moment.
Because you're
just absorbed in it.
Yeah, you feel like...
And all of a sudden you go...
You know, it would have been a funny thing to say, hey, Captain Obvious, you want to back up? I mean, I can think of this stuff later.
But back to the guy who flipped off the camera.
Okay, so... Sorry. Dying. Sorry. Okay, the guy... So we shot at the Comedy Cellar with a Steadicam, and then when we were done, I was standing out in the Village. It was the summer, and the Village in the summer is just so active. And I thought maybe I should shoot a moment outside. And then it hit me. I don't have an opening sequence to the show. I don't have a way to open. And just to hand something into FX, just to give them something. I assume we'll shoot some kind of a really slick opening someday for this show. But just to have something to give them when we turn in the pilot, because they only gave us $200,000 to do the pilot, which is very low money for a pilot.
Yeah.
So we had a Steadicam guy there, which is a very expensive rig and person. And I said, why don't we just put the guy's Steadicam on with a 25 lens, doesn't matter, and I'll walk from the 3rd Street subway to the Comedy Cellar, which is my walk. That's how I get to work every night, and just walk in front of me with the camera, and we'll just shoot that. And so we're walking. We did exactly that. I came out of the subway. We only did it once, and he followed me, and then I just followed my instincts. I got to Ben's Pizza on McDougal Street and went in for a slice. That's why I always do get a couple of chomps.
Yeah.
Because usually what happens is I put my kids to sleep, and then I get a babysitter to come, and then I run to the cellar, and I haven't eaten. I fed them dinner and put them to bed, so I just need a little bit of calories in me to do a set. So I started eating the pizza, and the camera stayed there and just watched me eat pizza. And these young Asian kids with spiky hair, kind of like cool alt punky kids walk by, and they see a camera, so they think, oh, fuck you, like this kind of just, you know what I mean? Young people, contrary to anything. Yes. Fuck you, man. And the kid really did it like that. Like, you can't hear it because there's no sound, but he was stupid that he didn't, he could have just stood in front of the camera. And really, as he walked by, fuck you! Like, he did it like that. And I just watched him, and I kept a straight face. You can see me glance at him after he gives me the finger. And I thought, because I know the scope of the lens that we had on. I'm like, I know we just caught that, and I know it's out of focus. And I'm so happy that just happened. That's just so, and it was a moment that I thought this show's going to be on TV. Like that moment, literally when he flipped off the camera, I thought, because I was like, that's so cool that's going to be in the opening credits. And I knew this is going to be the opening credits of the show. I'm not replacing this. And I think we're going to get on the air. Like, it just made me believe. That's awesome. Because of the fun, to me, the coolness of getting this this legitimate, sincere middle finger in this New York City show.
That New York City moment.
One of the funniest things that happened on Lucky Louie to me was we were doing a scene, and there was a woman who was a bartender, and she had a shirt on, and on the shirt was like the little clear tag that had like LLL, like for large.
Oh, yeah. And when from the Gap.
Yeah. Forget to take those off the back of your leg.
We're rehearsing, and Louie goes to me, all I want is for that to be shot and on television.
Yeah.
I want that so bad.
Yeah. And it was, I don't think we had to take it off.
I don't know if they took it off or they caught it, but you're like, I just don't want them to catch that. I want her to have that on television.
Oh, no. I love when imperfect things happen. And awful things. And I go, we're using that. It's easier to do on this show than Lucky Louie. There was some level of people trying to perfect stuff all the time, and that used to make me irritated.
Look how easy it is to just pull shit up. I was very happy when it came on Netflix, by the way.
I love the open of this fucking show.
Yeah, this is just, I was really tired. We'd been shooting all day. And
you look very natural. Like, that's how you look walking.
And actually, it backs up if you know the geography of
you
the
walk
village.
past it already, Lou. What the fuck?
There he is.
And then you give a little glance over to him. You did.
I just missed it. I looked down.
A little glance over, like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah,
there he is.
Right on.
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
A camera, fuck you, man!
Yeah, like that means anything.
Dude. Yeah. The camera represents the eye of the man.
No, and this font is just what was. I use it for other shit.
Yeah.
And we kept it. I didn't. Yes, that's passed by about a block.
How much you have to pay for the song?
I'll tell you about that in a second, because I couldn't afford the song.
Jeez.
Here comes the dude. And I look at him.
That's great.
There's me looking at him going, awesome.
You just look over.
Thank you for that.
Over and I'm thinking,
then look back.
No, and that moment of me looking is me thinking, I'm got my own TV show again. I honestly felt that way. No, the song, and the song I picked off of iTunes or whatever and threw it on for the sake of the, for just to have something to hand in as a complete thing. And then John Landgraf, the guy who runs FX, when he saw it, he said, I think Louie fits into it. and also I didn't know I was going to call it that. I just did that as a thing. And he said, I think Louie fits in. I like the opening. I like the song. He took it as the way the show's supposed to be. And then I needed to go get, then I needed to go get this song, Brother Louie, which was originally recorded by a band called Hot Chocolate. And then it was re-recorded by the Stories. And so we went after it, and our legal tiny department, and they said they would give us, there's the publishing and then there's the recording. The publishing is the actual, like, the song lyrics and the arrangement, and that costs us, we pay $5,000 an episode for that, which for us is $300,000 show. That's a lot. That's a chunk of our budget.
Wait, is that publisher and the artist have to get the same thing? I think that was the way to prevent.
Well, some people own both separately. The master recording is a different group of people, because actually we pay Hot Chocolate for the publishing, or whoever owns their publishing, because they wrote it. But the Stories version is the one that we wanted.
Okay.
Because of that guy, Louie, Ian Lloyd, that singer. The Hot Chocolate version is like 8 guys going, Louie, Louie, Louie. Yeah. It's not as fun. So we recorded our own version of it. Reggie Watts was a comic. He did the music for the first half of the season. And then we didn't have enough to finish it with, and we did it with other people. But he arranged and recorded the music for it that we did, which is almost identical to the Stories version. I think it's a little better. It's just a little nicer. And then we did a version where he sang it, where Reggie sang it, and it didn't work. And we tried to think of another way to create that sound, and we couldn't. I was in the studio with Reggie at like midnight, because all the music on this series, I do it with a group of musicians. It's all original music.
Wow, Jesus.
And but when we were doing the theme song, I was like, how are we going to do this? And then I thought, well, whatever happened to the Stories? Like, whatever happened to the lead singer? So I went on the internet, and I Googled Ian Lloyd. First of all, I Googled the Stories. I don't know who the fuck he was at the time. And I found a YouTube video of him doing it on American Bandstand. And Louie! And so I Googled his name, and Ian Lloyd is just a guy living in New York City. And he has a band. It's his son's band, but he's like sings. Jesus Christ. And so he's got a little website that he obviously hadn't updated since like 1989 or something. And there's an email on it. So it's like midnight, and I write a Hail Mary email. Hi, I'm a TV producer, and I want to hire you to do a job. Write me if you're interested. And the next morning, I wake up to an email. This is my current email.
Please help
This is my phone number. And he gave me his phone number. So I call him up, and he's the fucking greatest guy in the world. And he's just happy to still be singing. Yeah. And I kind of asked, sort of carefully, do you still have the pipes to do what you did on the song? He said, sure I do. And I told him, look, here's the thing. Oh, because the song, when we went to try to get it, it was like fucking $20,000 an episode they wanted for the recording.
For the recording of it,
They wouldn't back down, and we can't afford it. So I went to Ian and I said, can we just hire you as a singer for a day? That's all I can really afford to do. I have no money for this show. And he said, well, I need you to pay me enough that I don't want to kill myself. He said basically, I'm happy to do this for you. I just need to have some self-respect, So I offered him some money, and he said, that's fine. And he showed up. It was one of my favorite experiences ever on the show, because he was such a good guy. And he remembered how we recorded it. He remembered there's a couple of tracks, and he harmonized with himself, and he helped us with it. And the only thing, I had him do it exactly the way he did it in the original, and his voice is a little older, but I like it that ours is a little different. And also I asked him to say, instead of Louie, you're going to cry, the second time he says, Louie, you're going to die. I just asked him to make that one change, which he did.
Wow.
And he nailed it. So we have a version that 0 people believe is anything but the original Stories version.
Without having to pay
that money, which would be going to Ian Lloyd. Unfortunately, he probably fucked himself.
He fucked himself over.
No, and I felt bad, because when I did Carnegie Hall, I had this idea to have him sing live to introduce me. And I thought that would be so cool, and he'd go crazy singing Carnegie Hall. I'm sure he didn't see that coming in his future. And And but the people at Carnegie Hall, if you do music, they charge you like you're the fucking symphony orchestra, like they get like you're the Philharmonic. So I couldn't afford it, but they printed the programs that says with special guest Ian Lloyd on my Carnegie
collector's item.
But no, he's a great guy, and he yeah.
Goddamn,
but there's been people on the internet that are
money.
like, this can't be the Stories version because that says you're going to die, and I have the Stories version. I've listened to both back to back.
They don't notice the daughter change, but they notice that fucking shit.
Yeah, that's
Could you have him sing live if you had a recording, or is it just if music's being played? If you had the music taped?
Well, at that point, I wanted to have like a little combo band, and then they said that would cost a lot, and then they said, well, you could do it with playback, and then I said, well, I just don't want to do it. So you just called me out on a lie. I really just kind of backed out on hiring him. But I never told him I was going to hire him.
For comparison, we got the original.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right at the hook, the Stories version.
Yeah.
Little slower.
He's a little grittier now, a little more in his voice.
All right, and then
what made you think of this song for the show?
Yeah.
Thank you, Lou.
Danny, you got the other one?
Buddy.
What?
Oh, you want me?
No, yeah, you got the...
No, the original from the Open.
From the Open?
Louis, your version's way better.
I think you
really
like it better.
updated it.
Let's see. Here we go.
My bad.
This opening is from the Hot Chocolate version. They open this way. The Stories version is more 70s stringy in the beginning. Yeah, there's more strings here.
Yeah.
It sounds almost like...
Sounds good.
What's the guy who did Fred is Dead? Fred is Dead.
That's what I said.
Yes, like that. Who is that guy?
Was this a popular song?
Yeah, it was a hit.
Oh, it was a big hit. Okay.
Curtis Mayfield, I think.
Curtis Mayfield. The music is a little Curtis Mayfield.
Wow.
That strings.
Wow.
Louie.
I always thought that. I thought that was the original lyric.
No.
Until right this moment.
Doesn't exist in the original.
That's fucking...
Yeah.
Your version's way better.
I love him, this crooning singer saying, you're going to die. You're going to cry.
What a great anecdote.
Yeah, usually those back scenes things are boring. That was a pretty good
that
one.
was very...
you fucked that guy over.
You totally
really fucked him over with his help.
You so fucked with his help.
Yeah.
He has horrible representation.
He would have started getting checks from ASCAP. They'd be coming every time the show is on Netflix.
Everything
fucking DVD, boom, boom. Instead, he got a day rate.
You had such a great experience with the guy, but you fucked him over.
I owe Ian Lloyd. He's a good man. I always get emails from him when he's in town and stuff.
Put him in an episode.
He's a good man. No, I'm going to. He also wants to act, too, so I'll put him in something.
How old is he?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Is he black or white?
50s, white guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Scrawny white guy.
Yeah.
With a voice. Nobody has that voice. I mean, that's a testament to what he did. That fucking 30 years later, I couldn't find anybody that could replicate that sound. There's no white guy.
That is amazing, yeah.
No, what is that?
Yeah.
What kind of, it's not soprano or something. It's just
heroin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's him right there?
Yeah.
Hey, he looks all right. Hey, listen,
he's awesome.
Why don't we take a break?
Fishing captain.
Louis, you going to make it to the end with us, or do you got to go somewhere?
I'll hang around.
Okay, good. Louis C.K., he's here to promote Hilarious, which is going to be on Comedy Central Sunday night at 10 p.m. And then it'll be available on CD and DVD Tuesday. Hilarious
Yes, it will.
Is great. More
Thank
with
you.
Louis C.K. Stay there.
Robin.